Maestro Gaming presents a wobbly wagon wheel production about a nomad man. That man is the Gypsy King. Okay, ladies and gents, welcome back to Reykjavik, and as you can see behind me, the stadium for today's game against Prater is pretty darn open. So, if you don't fancy buying a ticket, don't really bother. You can see it from here, and if you go further down the road, there is a nice little bench where you can stand on it and look straight over the fence. But before getting to today's game, I do have a new signing to look at, so I will introduce that new player. We will head then out of the dressing room and play today's game against Prater. So without further ado, let's head on over to the stadium. Okay everyone, so we're finally in the dressing room and this is the perfect opportunity to show you our new signing. So as you can see in the previous game, Peter did get his suspension and yes, usually he would be replaced by Johan. But as you can see, Johan still has that injury. So that means our new addition can slide straight into the team. So if we go down here, we have Runnerson. Now, Runnerson is a 3-star, 3.5 star, possibly 4.5 star potential, 20-year-old on loan from Grindavik. He is 2 under 21 caps, 0 goals, of course. He is very defensive. Can play in defensive mid. For us, is very much going to be another centre-back option. He can also play at right back and right wing back. He is also been there quite a while. Been there for 4 seasons. Played only once. 13, 0, 3. 1 goal in those 3 games though, which is rather surprising. 6.83 rating. Not really do it for them, but he has come in on a nice bargain price of 0. So we will accept that little bit of charity from them. So, of course, we have to change his name because he can't be Runnerson. That is too long. He can be simply Runners. We know who he is, so he is now Runners. Runners can slide straight into the team. And that is our lineup for today's game. So, let's get out on the pitch. So, Prater versus IA. KR, of course, versus Poor. So we could do with KR beating Poor. Just help us guarantee us not being in that relegation zone. FH, that match doesn't really have any impact on us because that is a nice battle up here against 3rd and 2nd in that group, which is on their own. So let's get on with this. Again, that is our team. We've already looked at that. Lacking match sharpness. We could care less. Runners needs a number. Runners can be our number 2. Seems like an appropriate number for a defender. Of course, he is more of a defensive mid, so I should have probably gave him like the number 4 or give him something in the 20s for that flexibility. But who cares? This is our team. We are, of course, going for our nice 4-4-1-1, and they are going rather interesting here. They are going for a 5-4-1. 2 wing backs, 3 defenders, 1 defensive midfield, 2 central midfielders, and a cam and a striker. So they are very much stealing our down the middle approach with the cam and the striker. They are just going a bit more defensive, dropping these 2 back, having an extra central defender. So let's get into today's game. And Sega thinks we should try and encourage the team. I agree, Sega. So, assertive. I expect nothing but a win. Little bit abrasive. We are favourites here, so go out there and give the fans a performance. You know what? No. I expect nothing but a win from this match. Went down great. The lads know that we are very much underperforming here, being near the bottom end of the table, considering we are, of course, a mid-table side. As the lowest scorers in the Premier Division, what are you doing to improve IA's fortune in front of goal? Well, I'm telling my strikers to hit the back of the net instead of hitting the crowd. That seems to be working a little bit better than the previous manager's methods. Sindri from the Ukraine Football Times experience. No relationship to us, of course, because we've never been here. We're looking at everything from tactical changes to individual work, and we're confident it have some success. We're 4th in the Premier League table after a good recent results. Momentum is important in football. Prater recent struggles have them 12th in the Premier Division form table. Time to pile on the misery. It's definitely an opportunity for us to show what we're capable of. They do the same to us. That is true. How useful is runner's versatility when it comes to team selection? Well, for us, he's going to be pretty much sat in central defence. But it's nice to have a collection of Swiss Army knives. Because as you all know from this team, a lot of players are very versatile. I like to have players who can play multiple positions because it helps when it comes to injuries. I don't want to rely on at least one of two people staying nice and fit for a position, because that doesn't always seem to work out. Raw though, dispossessed by Ivanov. Ivanov to Victor. Victor now to Georgia. Raw has dispossessed him though. Lovely tackle. Tries to get up to Harald. Harald is fouled and we have a penalty, folks. 12 minutes in. Didn't get a card for it though. That is surprising. But Harald is going to step up, and can he put us in the lead? Come on, Harald. Harald delivers a beautiful penalty. 5th goal of the season, and we are 1-0 up, folks. And I am going to have a nice sip of my drink as we enjoy this highlight. Valerdo, of course, still running away with the lead. 9-1 and 0 in their 10 games. But we now have Prater back in possession. Ivanov to Victor. Victor, nice ball across the left hand side, but Olaf collects it. That looked more like a cross than a shot, to be honest. But Gunners now to Krisic. Krisic to Pals. Pals on his left side. Flicks it over to Harald. Harald can't keep the ball down there and gives it away to their defence. Oh, he's won it back though. Lovely play by Harald. Gunners now over to Bajak. Bajak on this right hand side. Can he whip it across? Whips it in. Harald. And we are 2-0 up, folks. 6th goal of the season for Harald. Assisted by Bajak. And we are off to a nice, simple 2-0 lead 20 minutes in. How many goals can we pile on though? That is the question. Like I said, this one seems like it's going to be a fun team to be at. I don't think the whole battle for relegation with this team is going to be much of a problem. I think it's very much a case of how high can we go, starting from the bottom of the league with this one. So, Robert now collects the ball from the header away, coming down this right-hand side with Robert. Robert does have support if he wants to use Bajak. He doesn't though. He plays it back to Korovic, and it's end of the highlight. That was a very pointless highlight in my opinion. I didn't really see the point. As you can see though, we have gone up to 8th place, folks, and we have a nice little gap on the relegation zone. So it is 2-0 at half time. They've had 2 shots, we've had 4. 1 on target, we've had 3. 7 fouls to 5. 2 yellow cards, 0. 42% possession to our 58. Now, their best performer has been Victor, their striker. 6.8 and 2 fouls against. Harald for us, 2 goals and an 8.5. Struggling to perform is Ornolson, with his one mistake that led to a goal and a 6.1 for them. Struggling for us though is Pals, 6.6 and 0% crossing completion ratio. But let's be honest, Pals hasn't had a whole lot to actually do. And in the other games, KR is doing a nice job on the relegation front. They're currently 2-1 up in their game, and FH is currently 1 up in theirs. But like I said, the FH game doesn't really matter to us. That is a battle between the top 3. We will get there. Sorry, if we get there, we will bother about those 3 teams. But for now, nothing to do with us. They're in a league of their own at this point. Sega, let the boys go up there with clear minds and don't need to arrest anything at this stage. No, I'm going to calmly tell them I'm happy with how it's going. Keep it up, lads. I'm not going to just send them out and not tell them anything. No, you're doing a good job. If they're doing a good job, I'll go and pat on the back. If they're doing a bad job, I will whip their backsides. I'll just throw a hairdryer at them, as the good old managers would have done back in my day. But Bajak has gone and tried to put them back in the game. It's a penalty. So, come on, Olaf. Save our bacon. Oh, Olaf, I love you. You beautiful human being, Olaf. You have saved our bacon once more. And they have a corner. So, let's get this one away, folks. Let's get it away. Good job with the header. It's only as far as Asterman, though. Asterman, and it's the end of the highlight. That is good news. A Ferrelding, though, have a couple of games in hand on us. So, got to keep an eye on them. Robert, though, holding the ball up nicely, plays it back to Korovic. Korovic holds up possession for Runners. Runners, nice ball over the top to Harald, intercepted though. Gudmundsson, Gudmundsson plays it all the way back to the goalkeeper. Will it get intercepted? No, it's up to Nakumu. Nakumu now to Georgiev. Georgiev tries a ball crossfield to Stefansson. Stefansson holds up possession nicely, back to another Stefansson. Ball over to Vander, and it's wide. Vander Hayden cannot keep his shot on target. And we are past substitution time, folks. I let that one run a little bit longer. So we are going to bring on some substitutes. Korovic is definitely in need of a substitute. We are going very much for retaining fitness. Christic, see, we have a suspension, but I think it's a one-match suspension, so we don't necessarily need to take Christic off. That's probably going to come back to bite me in the next game when I find out the suspension is actually longer. But we shall hold on and pray that he's okay for the next game. Raw and Robertson. Harald also needs a substitution, really. Clement can go up front. So Harald can get rested. So, do we rest Robert or Raw? That is our big dilemma. Robert or Raw. Flowchart is 2.5 star. So, solid replacement for Robert. Raw is on our left-hand side. Bajak, can you swap? Yeah, Bajak can swap over. See, this is where we test the depth of our team. So, Waller. That seems like the smart one. We take off Raw. So, Waller, swap with Bajak. Bajak, you can then be an inverted winger. Okay, let's do it. Inverted winger it is, Bajak. You can get fancy on the left-hand side as we swap you over. Don't be giving away any more penalties, though. Waller to Roberts. Roberts to Gunner. Gunner nicely back to Ozelaski. I'm going to struggle to say that guy's name on a rush, but it's with Gunner once more. Tries to give it back to our right back, but it's intercepted. We have Vander Hayden one-on-one with Olaf, and he pokes it away. That was a nice finish by Jasper Van Hayden. 5th goal of the season, assisted by Boulder Hannes Stefansson. His name couldn't get much longer now, could it? That is them on the scoreboard. We let them get a pity goal. Roberts plays it back to Pals. Pals tries ball in. Can we get on to the end of it? We have in Clement. Clement has got his 1st goal of the season, assisted by Pals. Good job, Peter. Peter poking it away. So, thrown in by Pals. Roberts just holds the ball up nicely, whips it back to Pals, who delivers a lovely cross for Clement to poke away. Keeper probably should have done a little bit more. Could have probably cleared that before he got onto the end of it, but stuck in his goal, didn't take the risk, and conceded as a result. It is now 3-1, 5 minutes remain, as we seem to be cruising to a nice victory in this opening game. But we do have a bit of a harder game coming up next. We, of course, are going to be versing IBV. But for now, it is 3-1 in today's game. They had 7 shots, we had 6. 5 on target, we had 4. 12 fouls to 14. 2 yellow cards, 1 yellow card, 41% possession to 59. Now, their best performer, of course, was Jasper Van der Hayden, with his 2 clear-cut chances, 8.1 as a result. Harald with an 8.6 and a brace was our best performer. Struggling to perform was Osterman. He got a 6.2 and no reason for it. Gunner, 1 mistake that led to a goal and a 6.5. Now, there was quite a few milestones, not going to go through all of them. Olaf was finally beaten, though, previously gone 238 consecutive minutes without conceding. So, that's not bad. Of course, we have Runner's appearance for us. And the player of the match should have gone to, yes it has gone to Harald. Nice job, Harald. I don't think we need to address anything specific, I agree. So, assertively, I'm happy with how you played. Get on with the next game, and as you can see, the next game is only 3 days away. So I'm going to head on over to IBV, and I will see you fanfics there in just a second. Okay, ladies and gents, we have finally arrived here at Hastings Valeur, home of IBV. Now, it might look a little bit like a field from behind me, but I promise you, this stadium is now on my bucket lists of places to visit, because it is beautiful. Let me just spin you around right here. So as you'll see from behind me, this is what the other side looks like. It's a beautiful stadium. Nice little pan around and back to the dugouts. So without further ado, I'm going to go find where on earth the dressing room actually is, and I will see you fan folks out here in just a second. Okay, ladies and gents, the team sheets are finally out, and we continue this trend to have a different centre-back partnership every single game. Now, it wasn't my plan, but Chris Dick, of course, was getting a little bit tired in that previous game. He cannot make it. That means runners will be in and Pater will be making his return. So, going up against their 4-4-2, here we have Olaf in goal, Pals at left back, runners and Pater at centre back. We have Kurovic at right back. I'm going to struggle with that guy's name multiple times, I know that for sure. We then have Roll on the left-hand side, Magnus and Gunnar in central midfield, Bajak on the right. We then have Roberts in central attacking mid and Harald up front. They, of course, are going for a solid 4-4-2 here in Hastings Valeur in Westerman Yajar. I probably completely butchered that. Our bench, of course, is Hodzik, Wasilewski, Big Ears, Waller, Roka, Flowchart and Clement. I really want to change Wasilewski, but I'm not sure what quite to change it to at this present moment. But our assistant manager thinks we should challenge the team to pick up where they left off. And I think that's reasonable, apart from maybe Bajak don't go back tripping people up and giving away penalties. I expect nothing but a win from this match to keep our form going. You know what? Sounds reasonable. One of them's motivated, they all listened keenly pretty much, and that is that. But we have a Gunnar from the Icelandic Football Daily. Very old and boring, and indifferent about us. Like I said before, a bit rude. Really shouldn't be calling you journalists old and boring, but IA are unbeaten in 4 matches against IBV. How much of an edge does this give your team as kickoff approaches? I've made sure the players know, because their players will too, and it gives us another slight edge. Yes. IBV's recent good form has them 5th in the Pro form table. How much of a threat do they pose? They're a threat, but so are we. So, this player comes into match having provided some impressive midfield displays in recent weeks. How do you plan to stop it? He's a fine player, but we have better players. How much of a boost is Fredrikson's absence of... Well, it makes commentary a heck of a lot easier, that's for sure. I can't deny it makes things a bit easier for us, but they're a good team with plenty of players. Still be a tough fixture. It won't. 8-0. Gonna win 8-0. Don't tell the game. If I speak any louder, we'll lose. But Bajak running straight through the middle. Nice little run, and he kicks it over the bar. Apparently he thinks he's going for a drop goal. Because that was an awful attempt at a shot if it wasn't an attempt at a drop goal. But we are quarter of an hour into today's game, and we have yet to score. By this point, of course, we were 2-0 up, so it is kind of worrying. We are going to demand a little bit more. Now we are 25 minutes in. They're all focused up, so are we. Of course, Olaf is only composed, and so is their left back. But other than that, well, we have 3 people who kept their motivation, whereas none of theirs did. They are focused up after a second shout though, and Kurovic to Gunnar, Gunnar to Roberts, Roberts now down to Bajak, nice ball into Roberts, Roberts has Bajak cutting inside, no, he's gone back outside, Gunnar's to Harald, Harald now to Magnus, Magnus tries to shoot from range, and it's a terrible effort. Didn't go anywhere near the goal, and it is 0-0 going into half-time. They've had 4 shots, we've had 7 to on-target apiece though. We've been very wasteful in that first half. 4 fouls apiece, 0 yellow cards apiece, 44% possession to our 56. Now their best performer has been Griffin, he's got a 6.9 rating and 7 interceptions made. But us is Olaf, 6.8 and no reason for it. Now struggling to perform is Zoega, 6.4 and 2 offsides, and Magnus with a 6.4 and no reason for it. We are, of course, the only game currently going on, so no need to look through the latest scores. Our assistant thinks we should try and encourage the team, though, and I think that's reasonable. Essentially, it's time to dig deep. Yeah, dig deep, lads. We want to leave everything out there on the pitch, including your kits. Maybe don't leave the kits. I think we might get in a little bit of trouble if we leave our kits behind on the pitch. But we are into the 50th minute and we are approaching substitution time, folks. We are going to demand a little bit more. The lads probably going to start yelling back at me at some point. Nope, that focused them all. Oh, that is good news. We are almost about to make subs. Yes, we are making substitutions now. So 0-0. We need to make some changes. And who is coming off? Magnus is not having the greatest of games. Now, Roker, how do you feel about that central midfield? Fine. You can play as a box-to-box even. Fancy. But we don't want you as a box-to-box. Roberts, do you prefer not to be a playmaker? No, you prefer to be a playmaker. Great. So Roker can come on for Magnus, but he can't really do anything Mazzala. It can be a Mazzala. We'll let him be a Mazzala. We'll let him express himself a little bit. Gunner is also struggling. Can't take them both off though. Roberts is having a rough game. Let's give Flowchart a run out. You know what? Get on attack. You want to be attacking? You be attacking, my friend. Herald is also having... You know what? We're going to risk it for the chocolate biscuit. Get the triple substitution in and pray nobody takes a knock. But Martin to Alfredson. Alfredson whips it in and it's a header over the bar. Not even going to attempt that guy's name. It is so long and convoluted and yeah, I've got no chance of pronouncing that one. But we are demanding more. We have a couple of players motivated. Everyone is focusing up. Of course, the substitutes are not because the substitutes are a little bit weird like that. But we have two players motivated. They have a free kick though. They've hit the wall and we are on the counter surely. Oh, come on, you ran the wrong way. He slid and he pushed the ball past his own defender. You run onto that. That's a nice one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But it is still in possession with IBV. Jorgensen tries one over the top. Pals intercepts it though. Pals, nice ball up. Clement on the ball up nicely. Plays it back to Flowchart now to Gunner. Gunner ball over the top to Clement. Lovely ball. Oh, he's at the post. Come on, score it. No. Heart, mouth, moment, eating. Not so yum. But Karovic to Gunner. Can we get on this score sheet? We're in a beautiful location. This is not beautiful football though. Karovic, nice ball over to Peter. Peter tries one over the top. Intercepted. Bajak though wins the ball back. Can he get across in? Come on, Bajak. Cuts inside, plays it to Flowchart. Flowchart now to Gunner. Gunner to Roker, playing the ball nicely along the edge of the area. Back to Gunner once more. Pals open on this left-hand side, has plenty of space to work with. Whips it in, Clement on the volley. Peter Clement, second goal of the season, a big one, assisted by Pals. And we have snuck into the lead, folks. 3 minutes remain on today's game, and we seem to be stealing this one in what surely looked like a lockout in today's game. And we did. We didn't perform particularly great. No side did. They had 10 shots, we had 11. They had 4 on target out of those 10. We had 3 out of our 11 on target. Now, 9 fouls apiece, 0 yellow cards to our 1, 42% possession to 58. Their best performer was Castanheira, with a 7 rating and an 87% passing completion ratio. Our best performer was Peter Clement, of course, with that lovely goal that won us the game, and a 7.2 as a result. Now, struggling to perform was Zoega, with a 6.5 and no reason for it, and Magnus with a 6.4 and also no reason for it. Now, the only milestone for the game was Robert Ron Eyersteinson made his 25th career appearance for them. Now, I would hate to try and manage that team, because that's a lot of awkward names to try and pronounce. But player of the match goes to Peter Clement, and that one is definitely nice and easy to say. Our assistant thinks there's nothing we need to address, and I agree. We had a nice, comfortable episode. We won two games out of 2, and well done to the lads. That was a good win for us. Yeah, I could be a little harsh on certain players with 6.6, and that's okay. I can let a 6.6, But that one, 6.5, 6.6 for Gunner, no. That's a pathetic performance in my humble opinion. And that one is awful. Magnus, what are you playing at, my friend? In fact, Magnus and Roberts. Awful performances from those two. But it doesn't matter. We picked up the result in the end, and that is all that matters. Points win prizes. It doesn't matter about the performance. But in the following episode, we of course are going to verse HK at home before we have a nice trip away to Valeur, who are currently unbeaten in the league. So tomorrow's episode, probably tomorrow, the next episode is probably not going to go as nicely as today's, but fingers crossed, maybe we can pick something up against Valeur. They have given away one draw, maybe we can make it a second. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you all have a lovely night, and goodbye.